Hello everyone, myself Bautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of HTTP message format in advanced networking protocol subject, and then after talk about the HTTPS. So HTTPS means that is a secure version of the HTTP. So in today's session, fully focus on the HTTP message format, and then after talk about the concept of the HTTPS. So let's start with the HTTP message format. So first of all, how many types of HTTP message format generally supported in networking? So there are mainly two types of HTTP message format supported in networking. One that is known as a HTTP request message format, and second one that is known as a HTTP response message format. So first of all talk about this, then after talk about the advantages and limitation of the HTTP, and then after talk about the HTTPS. That's the main agenda behind this particular session. So let's start with the concept of HTTP request message format. So here you just see the particular structure. This is the most important one. Two types of HTTP message already I discussed. One that is known as a request, second one that is known as a response. HTTP request message generally supported by which structure? If I want to talk about the block diagram, or if I want to talk about the structure of the HTTP request message, so what's the part behind that? So this is the example. So first of all, you just see the diagram for the HTTP request message format. Here you just see the diagram. The first line that directly support three important compartments, and first one that is always known as a request line. So request line is generally divided into three parts. One that is known as a method, second one that is known as a URL, and third one that is known as a version. So what is the meaning of SP here? SP means that can be considering as a space, CR means that can be considering as a carriage return, and LF means that can be considering as a line feed. So if you want to talk about the HTTP request message format, so first one that is known as a request line, second one that is known as a header line, third one that is known as an entity body. So request line generally supported by the three. First one that is known as a method, second one that is known as a URL, third one that is known as a version. So here you just see in a particular this diagram. Request line. If you want to go for the request line, so total number of commands supported by that. One that is get, second one that is post, and third one that is head. So mainly three commands that is generally used for the request line purpose. So here you just see the first line. Get means what? That is the method name. Then after the sum directory page.html, that is known as a URL, and third one version. So which version supported here? HTTP 1.1. So request line is generally divided into three factors. First one that is known as a method, second one that is known as a URL, and third one that is known as a version. Method means which method? Get. URL means sum directory page.html, and third one that is the version, that is the HTTP 1.1. After that, compartment number 2 for the HTTP request message format, and that is the header line. Header line supported total number of 4 attributes. Must remember one thing, header line supported total number of 4 attributes. First one that is host, second one that is user agent, third one that is the connection, and fourth one that is the accept language. So host means someschool.edu, that is the host name. User agent means which particular, so that is the Mozilla Firefox. Connection means that's the closed, and accept language FR means that's the France. So this is the header line, and the last one that is the entity body, and that is the carriage return and line feed that is generally used for it indicate the end of the message. So must remember one thing, if you want to talk about the HTTP request message format, that is generally divided into three compartments. Compartment number 1, that is the request line, compartment number 2 that is the header line, and compartment number 3 that is known as a entity body. So this is the example. Then after you just see the diagram. So you properly understood each and every component of this particular diagram. Again, I repeat, request line generally supported the 3 compartment, method, URL and version. Header line generally supported by the header field name and value. So different header field name is there. And carriage return and line feed is generally used for, it indicates the end of the message, and that is the entity body. So that's all about the HTTP request message format. After that, if I want to upload form input, so total number of ways for that. So total number of 2 ways. One, that is the post method, and second one, that is the URL method. So post method means what? Web page generally using the form input, and this input is uploaded by to server in entity body. So whenever you go for the post method, must remember one thing, whatever the input is uploaded to server, that is always in entity body. But if you want to use the URL method means get method. So input is uploaded in URL field of the request line. So that is the difference. If you using the post method, so always input is uploaded to the server in entity body, and if you want to go for the URL method using the get method, so directly uploaded in URL field of the request line. So this is the way you can directly upload something. After that, then after already I discussed in a previous session, there are mainly 2 types of HTTP. One that is known as a HTTP 1.0 and second one that is known as a HTTP 1.1. So HTTP 1.0 generally supported the 3 methods. One that is the get, one that is the post, and one that is the head. What is the meaning of head? Head method generally asks the server to leave requested object out of the response. That's why using the head. And HTTP 1.1 generally using the get, post, head, and then after another 2, one that is the put and one that is the delete. So what is the meaning of put? Put means it upload the file in entity body to pass specified in URL field, and delete means it delete the file specified in a URL field. So this is the way, the different methods that can be the part of HTTP. Again I repeat, if you want to go for the version HTTP 1.0, so that supported the 3 methods. One that is the get, second one that is the post, and third one that is the head. And if you want to go for the HTTP 1.1, so generally supported the 3 method plus 2 method. So 3 plus 2 that means 5. So get, post and head that remain as it is, plus put and delete. After that, HTTP response message format. Up to this, whatever the discussion, that is regarding the HTTP request message format, and then after the talk about the how to upload a input, form input. Here you just see HTTP response message. In HTTP response, first line that is always status line. In case of HTTP request message, first line that is always request line. So HTTP status line generally supported the 3 compartments. First one that is known as a protocol, second one that is known as a status code, and third one that is known as a status phrase. Protocol means which particular protocol that is generally used by the HTTP response message format. So here you just see HTTP 1.1. Status code means 200. And what is the meaning of this particular code? So that is OK. So that can be treated as a status phrase. After that, header lines that is in a HTTP request message format. Same way header line in a HTTP response message format. But the different header field. First one that is the connection, second one that is the date, third one that is the server, fourth one that is the last modifier, fifth one that is the content length, and sixth one that is the content type. So each and everything you can directly store in a header line of the HTTP response message format. And last one, whatever the requested HTML file, you directly generating a response. So you directly retrieve the data as a output. So that is the data. So this is the HTTP response message format. Again I repeat, In HTTP request message format, first line, that is the request line, but here in HTTP response message format, first line, that is the status line. And status line is generally divided into protocol, status code and status phrase. After that, HTTP response status codes. So mainly networking, 5 types. First one, that is the 200. So 200, that can be treated as a OK. So what is the meaning of that? So request succeed, requested object later in this message. 301, move permanently. What is the meaning of move permanently? Requested object move to the new location specified later in this message. 400, that is known as a bad request. So bad request means what? Request message not understood by server. 404, not found, requested document not found on this server. And last one, 505, HTTP version not supported here. So this is the different HTTP response status codes. After that, what is the meaning of proxy server? What is the meaning of proxy server? All of you know. One, that is the main server. One, that is the proxy server. So what is the logic behind that? So first one, user set the browser, means it directly sending the request. So first request is directly passed via cache. What is the meaning of cache here? Cache that can be treated as a proxy server. So here you just see in a diagram, different client are there, different server are there, in between one proxy server are there. So client sending the request in terms of HTTP request. So first of all, request directly sent to the proxy server. If the proxy server fulfill the request, it directly sending response back to the client. But if this request is not fulfilled by the proxy server, this particular request is directly passed to the origin server, and origin server directly generating response back to the proxy, and proxy directly back to the client. So that's the structure for the proxy server. So here you just see the diagram, so you properly understood. First one, client sending the request to proxy. If proxy fulfill the request, it directly send the response. If proxy not fulfill the request, it directly sending the request to the original server, and original server directly sending response back to the proxy, and proxy directly send response back to the client. So this is the most important thing. What is the meaning of web caching? Web caching, why we use the web caching? So it generally reducing the response time for the client request. If this particular client request is fulfilled by the particular proxy server, so it directly reducing the response time. And second one, it reducing the traffic. So the most important, two important advantage of the use of web caching. One, that is the reducing the response time, and second one, reducing the traffic jam. After that, then after the HTTP message format over, request and response, after that, advantages of HTTP. What's the advantages of HTTP? So only talk about the normal advantages. First one, that is the platform independent. Second one, no runtime support required. Third one, that is generally usable over the firewalls. And the most important advantage, that is the not connection oriented, means no network overhead to create and maintain the session state and information. And must remember one thing, HTTP is stateless protocol. That's why that is stateless protocol. Okay, so that's the advantage. So you must remember the important points only. First one, that is the platform independent, no runtime support, usable over firewall, and not a connection oriented. After that, what's the limitation of the HTTP? Means first one, that is the integrity. What is the meaning of integrity? And integrity means what? Whatever the data sent by the sender and whatever the data received by the receiver, that remains as it is. So you can directly say that integrity is maintained. But in between, if any data is updated or altered, so you can directly say that integrity is violated. So HTTP is insecure. Why? Because no encryption method generally used here. So that is the most important limitation. Second one, authentication. Not clear who you are talking with. Anyone who intercept the message, intercept the request, can determine the username and password. And third one, that is the stateless, means need state management techniques to maintain the information across multiple request response cycles. So that's the limitation of the HTTP. After that, the last point, important 4 to 5 slides regarding this particular topic, that is the HTTPS. Again I repeat, HTTP is stateless. HTTPS means secure version of HTTP, means in HTTP not using the encryption method, but here using the concept of secure socket layer. So that is known as a HTTP over SSL. So SSL that can be act as a layer under the HTTP application layer. So here HTTPS is directly encrypting an HTTP message and decrypting a HTTP message. So encryption and decryption, that is the part of the HTTPS. Must remember one thing, if you want to go for the transmission, at that time you apply the encryption, and if you want to go for the decryption, means if you want to arrive, upon arrival of the message, you directly apply the decryption of the message. So that's the normal introduction of the HTTPS. After that, history of the HTTPS. So first one, Netscape Communication, that generally created the HTTPS for the Netscape Navigator web browser. HTTPS generally used with the SSL. SSL supported one protocol, that is the TLS, that is the Transport Layer Security. The current version of HTTPS was formally specified by the RFC 2818 in May 2000. After that, which particular port that is generally used with the HTTPS? Again one question here. HTTP supported which particular port number? Your answer, HTTP supported the port number 80. HTTPS supported which particular port number? Port number 443, that is generally used with the HTTPS. HTTP generally use the port number 80. Again, if you want to specify the URL always beginning with the HTTPS, so you can directly understood this particular connection between the client and server, client and browser is encrypted using SSL. So this is the key-based encryption algorithm generally used with the HTTPS. After that, which particular important structure generally operated with the HTTPS? You can generate the key, you can generate the certificate signing request, you can generate the self-signing certificate, you can generate a authority sign certificate, and you can directly configure the web server. So this is the important terms, the main thing, the limitation of the HTTPS. So again, limitation is that it cannot prevent the confidential information from the pages cache on the browser. So whatever the data, again HTTPS is slightly slower than HTTP, and it directly generating a computational overhead as well as the network overhead, because here using the concept of encryption and decryption. The diagram, first of all, it directly browsing request from the HTTPS. Web server directly sending a public key with its certificate. After that, browser generally using this certificate, checking this certificate is not expired, this certificate is not unrevoked. After that, browser creating a symmetric key and send it to the server. Then after, web server generally using the decryption with the symmetric key using its private key, and then after, web server directly sending the page encrypted with the symmetric key, and browser decrypt this page using the symmetric key and display the information to the user. So this is the way you can directly provide the communication between client and server. And the last point for the today's session is which particular is HTTPS. First one in a banking website, second one in a payment gateway, third one in a shopping website, fourth one in a all login pages, and fifth one email applications that generally supported the use of HTTPS. So in today's session, first one, the HTTP message format. Two types of HTTP message format, request message format and response message format. Then after talk about the limitation of the HTTP, advantages of the HTTP, then after talk about the HTTPS, limitation of HTTPS, advantages of HTTPS. So that's all about the today's session, and that's all about the concept of the HTTP in detail. Thank you for watching.